Solo: Islands of the Heart is an introspective puzzle game from the Madrid-based studio Team Gotham, and this contemplative puzzler doesn't pull any punches. It'll ask somewhat heavy questions relating to your personal relationships, and it'll attempt to challenge your biases regarding what you think love is and how that may affect your partner. And I know, that's not what we were expecting from this, huh? The game has a charming, almost cel-shaded art style reminiscent of Wind Waker, and it uses that highly saturated color palette beautifully. Each island has its own color scheme, which helps you not get lost and prevents the game from ever getting visually stale. Along your journey, you'll encounter a variety of animals to pet, feed, and photograph. They're also quite fond of music. Far as I can tell, none of these interactions seem to have a mechanical function relating to progression, but they do add to the tone that Solo is trying to set. A comfortable place where you can just chill out and show a little affection to the creatures around you. Perhaps this was a way to relax the player and encourage them to be as honest as possible while being asked personal questions. Either way, I dug the game's vibe, and I loved puzzle solving my way through its numerous archipelagos. As I've been saying, the game is all about your personal perception of love, the relationships you've had, and what you can learn from them. On my first playthrough, I answered every question as truthfully as possible, and it provided some interesting insights into myself and potentially what my partner might have thought of some of my answers. I found it to be a worthwhile exercise that doesn't necessarily aim to tear down your belief structure, but rather explore and challenge it, asking the player to think about their answers from a different perspective. On my second playthrough, I wanted to test just how dynamic the game could get, and I answered every question as if I were the most cynical, jaded, loveless, and cruel person that I could imagine. I was pretty impressed by how different and appropriate the game's responses were. It seems they have a robust set of branching questions and answers that come together to form the game's conclusion. Don't get me wrong, the writing in Solo won't blow your mind or anything, but I think if you're looking to enlighten yourself a little bit, the game has at least something to offer for those of us who are willing to humor it. You'll get back what you put in, you know? But your personal mileage may vary. I'm just happy to report that, for the most part, I found that they handled this potentially heavy subject matter rather tastefully. The game's puzzles are all based around moving and climbing on a variety of blocks to get yourself from one place to another, and reuniting lost lovers along the way. You've got regular old boxes, extendable bridges, rotating fans, and blocks that can reroute the flow of water. With these simple tools, you'll be able to mix, match, and rotate your way to these lighthouses, which awaken the totems who ask you tough questions about love, and then go on to summon the next set of islands for you to conquer. Rinse and repeat. Along the way, you'll see these apparitions representing your significant other, and their notes which react to the way that you've been answering questions so far. There are several songs to discover along your way, and playing them on your guitar yield various effects, like making it rain, changing the world to black and white, or just making everybody dance. Also, my favorite parts of the game were these side areas, where you need to match the shadows of the boxes to the pattern on the floor. These get really tricky later on, and I could have gone for more of them, since they were so much fun to solve. Solo: Islands of the Heart is a pretty basic game when it comes down to it, but I think the artistic quality of all of these things together add up to a wonderful little package that I find hard to criticize, aside from the struggling frame rate and perpetually jagged edges, which really stand out against these solid colors. I imagine these issues are exclusive to the Switch version, but this is all I have to go off, so I don't know. Either way, in a game like this, it's not the end of the world if there are a few performance hiccups here or there. The games industry has seen its fair share of games that aim to explore heavy issues such as mental health, and it's kind of nice to see a game that's trying to have a different kind of conversation, about a topic that not a lot of us discuss all that often, in spite of it being woven into the very fabric of our lives. No matter who you are, you gotta love somebody, or maybe even just hope to someday, and this game wants you to think a bit more about what that means. I've never played anything quite like Solo, but I'm happy it exists. It gets a 4 out of 5.